Hello, YouTube. What's the audio like? Audio. I've got a little green thing here. So it's 4 people here, guys. Can you let me know if you can hear me all right? Just give me a thumbs up. Yeah, that's good, or no. Ah, Ian. How are you, mate? All right. You're less traumatized now. Out that way, mate. You're right. And Tim, hello. So we'll just give it a minute before we kick off. Yeah, I bet I do, mate. Not sure I feel it though. I've got to be honest. You're on about drinking, Wayne. Well, look, I'm going to show you. Look, you see, low alcohol. This is basically like 0% alcohol, 0.05%. So, what are you guys drinking tonight? Drop a message down. Hello, Ellen. Hey, Brian. Thank you, pal. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's about as much as it goes, mate. Okay, at the minute. Still feeling a little rough. So I was hoping this Q&A session would be all about South Africa, but I'm guessing after this weekend's. So anyway, after I'm drinking my posh apple juice, I guess we'll start. So yeah, Q&A, guys. I'm sorry I've not got party lights and Christmas lights up like we had last year. So I apologise for that. But as probably most of you, I'm guessing all of you know, I had a bit of a rough weekend this weekend. So time's been short, and I just couldn't be arsed. I'll be frank. So I'm still knackered. Evening, Chaz. Good to see you on, mate. So yeah, it is what it is. So it's a Q&A session. So if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. I've not had any come through prior, so I've got none to sort of answer. And then the other thing I've got to do tonight is I've got some goodies to give away to my patrons. So over the last sort of few months, I've done a few reviews. Hopefully you've seen. And I've had some sort of channel sponsorship by a few of the people that I've done a bit of work for on the channel. That have given me stuff to give away because I've got enough diving crap. I know it's difficult for divers to say they've got too much stuff, but I really have got too much stuff, and so I just don't need any more. So because my patrons have been supporting me, I think since sort of February I launched that. Then I thought it was only right to give back to them and sort of give them the opportunity of some stuff. So what I have got is a list of all my Patreons, only first names, and you'll see that some people have got the name on more than once and some people only once, and that's just the tiers. So my VIPs pay me considerably more than just the regular Patreons, so they get more goes. It's as simple as that. So if you want more goes next time, then sign up to Patreon. Make sure you're in that VIP tier. It is limited number. Can't remember off the top of my head now. It might be 12. But yeah, it's just a big thank you to the guys that have been supporting me and you really by helping me buy fancy microphones and new cameras and that kind of stuff to try and make the content a little better. So it's not just me that should be saying a big thanks to those guys. It should be pretty much everybody. So yeah, thank you very much. And I will go through their names later. So anyway, let's just have a look what's going on here. Special Northern Brew. Well, probably not. I'm probably a bit of a shandy there, Wayne, to be honest with you. That's a oh no, Copperberg. Tim, lager. Not a lager fan, me. Is that cider? Copperberg. Oh yeah, Copperberg is cider, isn't it? Yeah. But that's the super sweet one, isn't it? With all the fruity berry. Yeah, no, I don't like that one. So yeah, too sweet for me, that, Tim. Brian, straight in there, Brian. Yeah, no messing. Interested to know what happened in the pot, and I will let you know, but I'm just not going to let you know tonight. Okay, we've got Ian on today. He is Warm Apple. I'm going to out him on the chat, and to really understand what happened at the weekend, I guess you need both sides of the story, really. Although I was present, I wasn't there for most of it, unfortunately. Certainly, sort of the nasty bits. I wasn't there. Yeah, is the best way of saying it. And Ian was sort of my savior on the day, definitely. What I'd like to do, I've not spoke to Ian about it, so I'm going to jump in now about it. Is I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video because I do think we need to explore it. Getting a bend is something that we all take the risk of every time we go diving, isn't it? Thank Christ it doesn't happen very often. And when it does happen, it's not as bad as the one I ended up getting. It's just my bloody luck, I think. But I think there was definitely some interesting bits from what Ian was telling me about how the emergency services worked. Is quite interesting. Now, if you're a BSAC diver, and you've sort of gone dive leader or above, you will have been trained in a lot of this. But it's quite interesting to hear it from a real life point of view and experience it. So I do think there's some learning to take away from it. Not from dive profile, I've got to be honest. I mean, everyone's getting very excited about the dive profile. I will quite happily, once I've downloaded it, I've not touched my dive computer since I got back, guys. So don't be asking for it tonight, but I will quite happily share the dive profiles. But I can tell you now, there was not a lot wrong with them. It's dives that I've done 1,000 times in Cape and Ray. It's dives I've done worse things in Cape Ray. When you've got new students, I have bounced the top and bottom like a yo-yo there. I've done much worse from a profile point of view dives than the dives I did at the weekend. Needless to say, there will be the armchair warriors there that will pick out every last little 30-second blip of dive profile, and they can have at it. But I can show you lots more worse profiles of diving that I've done, especially when teaching, than what we did at the weekend. But I definitely think there's some learning points, certainly for me. So things that will change with my diving, and not so much diving, but logistics as well. I am going to go through that, mate. So make sure you subscribe, Brian, if you're not already. And as long as Ian is up for it, I'm going to do a little interview session with me and him, and we'll give you both sides of the story, I guess. And then we'll see. We'll just see what comes of it. You know what I mean? Like I say, I'm not an expert in decompression sickness. I'm just a regular diver like you guys. It was a pretty bog standard dive. I was just incredibly shocked, I guess, afterwards of how badly things went and how fast they went bad and where they went bad as well. Because it's just what it is. But anyway, so Warm Apples, give us a thumbs up. So I'll get that sorted in the next couple of weeks, guys, and we'll get that sorted. We'll walk you through it and ask any questions. And if there is a crap load of questions on the thing, then what I might do is I might get Ian over, and we might do another one of these where you can ask some live questions. So I'm really not sure how much interest there is in it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm nothing to hide. It happened. You know what I mean? So I think if you guys want to talk about it, I'm happy talking about it. Didn't die. It's all good. Right. I'm just going to take a breath and then we'll carry on. So let's just go through some of the comments. Charlie's changed his mind. Retracted his comments. I hope it wasn't rude, Charlie. How, why, and what happened, and what do you want to share? That's from Wayne Jurassic Diver. Yeah. Again, I'm happy to share everything, Wayne. Just not today because I can only give you half the story, really. I mean that genuinely, half the story, because although I was present, I wasn't there. So I will do an interview with Ian, and we can talk about it from both our perspectives. So Scuba Very, looking well, mate. Thank you. I'm feeling better than I was at the weekend. Tim's, yes, I'm not quite sure what. Yes. Decaf Yorkshire tea. Oh, Ellen, decaf.
Would you decaf coffee?
Well, that's only because we're supposed to. But decaf's a bit like sex without the orgasms, isn't it? It's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? I don't know. Perhaps I'm wrong. I don't know. John, hey, John, over from the US. Hi, John. Happy Christmas, mate. Good to see you. And hey, Dick as well. Good to see you, which is good. I think there's not many here. Gordon, I think, is the only one we're missing, isn't it? And so we can get on with the draw soon. Jurassic Dive, great believer in gradient factors and important. Know your surface gradient, what percentage you want to leave the water with. I do dive gradient factors, Wayne, 50-80 or 80-50. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, and it was all good. The first dive, I did squeak into decompression just a little bit because we did 67 minutes on air, but it was clear. So, like I say, nothing wrong. I'll show you the profiles as soon as I've downloaded them. On the video, we'll put it on the video. Yeah. Yes, Brian. Yeah, it's yeah. There's definitely things to learn. From my point of view, you know, from like I say, I mean, I don't really know. Like I say, if you're going to find anything in the dive profile, it's been shared with the hyperbaric teams. Nothing particularly interesting in it. It's a Cape and Ray dive. I don't know if you've dove Cape and Ray, but there's not a great deal you can do there. It sort of bottoms out at 17 meters. We were doing I can't remember what we're doing now. Oh, a rec appreciation course, the BSAC rec appreciation course. So we were on the Ted Tandy. We did 2 dives on the Ted Tandy. And that was it. So it was out, do some work on the Ted Tandy. It was a bit of measuring, a bit of sketching, a bit of pretend sketching, it turns out. Yeah, so what I'm also going to do is I'm going to show you the spastic drawings that the students draw as well, because they are interesting. Well, they were very good underwater, and they looked like they were doing a good job, but the results on the surface left something to be desired, I may say. So it was interesting, but that was it. So it was 2 bimbos around the Ted Tandy and out. And you know, at the end of the dive, I was fine. We spent an hour sort of getting dekitted and packed away and debriefing and all that kind of stuff. And it was on the way home that it hit, and that was in all honesty, that was the scary bit. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just don't know. I wish I could pin it on something and say, it was that, because then I could make sure I didn't do it again. Do you know what I mean? You know, it is what it is. But like I say, happy to go through all that with you. And if Ian is as well, I've got a thumbs up. Then he can tell you about the interesting bits from his point of view, which I actually find more interesting than me keeling over, to be frank. So it's Scuba Very. Where's the Christmas decorator? I've explained that, mate. I can't be asked, frankly. It's been a rough week, and I've no idea. We haven't got the Christmas decks up at all yet, so we've not been in the shed. And yeah, it's just not happened. So I don't even know I can like fake some in here. Otherwise, I'd do that for you. But it was what it is. So let's have a look. A few more. What films did you? Do you know what, Tim? I can't knock at all the service that I got from and the care, the genuine care that I got from the Northwest Hyperbaric Chamber. But unlike the Midlands Dive Chamber, there was no curries and there was no films. So it was just literally sit there. I mean, I've got to be honest. The first night, or when I landed there, they put me in on a table 62, was it? Hang on, I've got the guff here. Because they send you in with a pack of what happened to you. So I don't know if you see that. Okay. I'm not holding there all night, but anyway. Yeah, so the first one I had a table RN62 with, I think I had 2 or 3 20-minute extensions. So that was a table 62 with a few extensions, and then I was breathing 20 minutes on O2, 5 minutes off, 20 minutes on O2, 5 minutes off, and so on and so forth, like that. And then right, okay, got to stop wobbling my head. That doesn't work for me. And then I had 3 days of follow-up, which were 2-hour sessions in total, which was 3 lots of 30 minutes on O2. And I've got to be honest, guys, my lungs are battered at the moment. Breathing neat O2 at PPO2s way above what you'd normally dive. Doesn't do your breathing any good. And the other thing is the mask that you put on. You breathe in the O2, but then you have to blow out the O2. Okay, you just don't blow it up into the chamber, because the O2 level in the chamber can go up too much. And you also, obviously, if you're bringing gas in and then leaving it in, it puts the pressure in the chamber up, so it blows out. So if you can think of a really bad rebreather with a really bad work of breathing rate, it's a lot like that for hours. So you have to like suck it in and then you have to blow it out, and it's quite difficult for long periods of time. So yeah, it's quite a bit of work. So unfortunately, there's no messing in the Northwest. They get you down. You lay down, and you breathe in and you breathe out, and that's what you do for 7 hours. And you need to think and concentrate on that. So yeah, unfortunately, Tim, no curries and no movies. Unfortunately. And no ping pong balls either, so which was a shame. Although I'm not sure they took us down deep enough to pop ping pong balls, because I only went to 18 meters. So, but yeah, so there we are. Let's have a look what else we've got. Yeah, thanks, Charlie. On a lighter note, yeah, did that one. What films did you watch? Brian dive hundreds of times, 17 meters. Look forward to the video. Yeah, okay. Like I say, we'll get that done, Brian, next couple of weeks, as soon as I can pin Ian down. We'll get it done. Hope you're coming down Vobster again soon. I did go to the north end. Join Stony Coast. So this is Jurassic Diver, my friend Wayne. We'll do Cape and Ray next year. Cape and Ray is definitely worth it, mate. I mean, obviously, it's quite a jaunt for you down the south coast. But it is my favourite inland site. You know, like any scuba instructor, you get sick of the sight of these places, don't you? Because you go that often. But yeah, it's definitely worth going if you enjoy Vobster, and I know you do, Wayne. Then you'll enjoy Cape and Ray. So Stone is all right, but it's lost the viz in recent years. So, in my opinion. But Cape and Ray always has relatively good viz, as long as you don't go like, May, middle of the green season, but that's the same everywhere, isn't it? So, John, I say it was the cold water that caused your bends. I'm with you, John. Yeah, I'm only going to warm water dive now. Forget it. We're done. So there we are. Didn't take the ping pong ball, Tim. No, sorry, mate. Warm apple 6. Is that the table I was doing? Yeah, it was a 6-2. Again, not an expert. That's just what it says on the paperwork. That's what they did. Do you agree Die Hard is a Christmas film? Oh, a question from Wayne. Of course it bloody is. It's not Christmas until Hans Gruber's like been thrown off the top of the Nakatami Plaza, has he? Do you know what I mean? It's one of the best Christmas films, isn't it? Die Hard. It's like Christmas, but with murder and death and kill and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, absolutely. It's not Christmas until you've seen Die Hard. My typical, the only 2 films I really watch at Christmas, and I would Christmas. I'm not into the Grinch and all that like fluffy Christmas stuff. Is Die Hard and Home Alone. The first one, none of the others. They're all a waste of time. Just the first one, because the way that what's his name screams, when he puts the tarantula on his face, Marv, right? Because he puts the tarantula on his face. That scream is the best scream in all of motion picture history, and also where the iron smacks him in the face is also a particular favorite of mine. So yeah, Die Hard, absolutely 100% a Christmas film. Warm apple, they told me Navy table 6. Yeah, it says here it's Navy table 6, mate, but it says it's a 6-2, 62. Yeah, so I don't know if there's like different variations of 6, but that's what it says on the paperwork. Yeah. Scuba agrees. It is Die Hard. It definitely is. And again, it's a bit sad, isn't it? I don't know if you saw like Bruce Willis is not doing well, is he, at the minute, which is sad, because kind of Mr. Indestructible, isn't he? Rich, hi Rich. Yeah, thanks. I am back on my feet, wobbly feet. I'll be honest with you. I've got these drugs. I keep calling me wobbly tablets, and I think they are, but they're supposed to make me not wobbly. And anti-wobbly tablets, but I've been taking them today and they don't seem to have done a great deal. So I am walking around a little bit like I'm pissed at the moment. So if you've ever known anybody that's had like a dose of vertigo or something like that, That's very much what I look like. So yeah, it'll be interesting when we go out on the Christmas drinks next week because I look like I've had a few straight out the door. There we are. Okay, so anybody got any more questions? You're sat there thinking. You've probably got a million questions. Like, if you got any questions about like what happened at the weekend, guys, then go for it. But like I say, I will be doing it all over. So Caesar, hey, new diver with the intention to go all the way to cave diving. Right, if you want to go cave diving, mate, my friend on here is Mr. Ward. He's a cave diver over in Florida. Yeah, he's the man to speak to. Tech diving invest money in a wing that is able to use single tanks, double tanks. Talking about the dive system Moby, right? I don't know what the dive system Moby is, mate. If you cave diving, like I would imagine at the basic, you're going to want independent air sources. So yeah, definitely backplate and wing. I don't think you should make BCDs anymore. Okay, so I think everyone should dive on a backplate and wing, whether you're diving a single and a pony, twins. A wing and a backplate system is just more versatile. It's more flexible. It's more personalizable. It's just better in every way, shape, or form, as far as I can see. Travel and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why we sell BCDs anymore. I don't know why we sell regulators with octopuses on anymore, because I'm a firm believer that single cylinder long hose is the way to go as well. But that's just me. What do I know? Yeah, you're not going to go wrong investing in a wing and tanks. You're just not, whatever you decide to do, you know what I mean. Then that's going to do you from single cylinder diving to multiple stage twins, blah blah, all that kind of stuff. You're going to be absolutely fine. And inevitably it ends up being cheaper to set up as well, because if anything breaks, you just replace that one bit. Whereas with the BCD, if something breaks on it, you have to chuck the whole thing away normally and replace the whole thing. So yeah, it's definitely the way I'd go. Definitely I'd recommend it. Rich, I guess you need to have a little break from getting wet. Yes, unfortunately, there is a little break from getting wet. So I've got to wait until I am 100% recovered and then wait 6 weeks. So they have said that the expectation is that this dizziness, wobbliness, and everything will go away in 6 to 8 weeks. So if you say 6 weeks and then 6 weeks afterwards, so I've basically got 3 months off diving, which is the way it is. That's just life, isn't it? I'm not out to kill myself. Try though I may, but yeah. So it will probably be March time next year, where go off to Egypt again. So that'll be a shame. My first time back will be in Egypt. So I guess that brings me on to another bit of massive breaking news, that UKDiver is going on tour. Now, I can hear Warm Apple laughing at this already, but even before this weekend, I had made the decision that I was going to take a break from UK diving for 18 months for a few reasons, really. So I've been doing this for 12 years now. And I don't want to sound arrogant or anything like that, but I've kind of been there and done it all, if that makes sense, or all the stuff that I want to do in the UK. And this year especially, the diving for me has been quite repetitive. Okay, it's going back to places that I've been to, it's exploring places that I've already explored. And I'm not saying I've been to every dive site in the UK and that there's lots more to do, but at the moment I'm not fell out of love with it, but I'm just not as passionate about it. For me, it was all about the exploration. And like I say, I know what's in UK waters. I mean, there are a few bits I definitely want to do next year. Sharkman Dan over at Pembroke is doing things with blue sharks that I think is amazing. And if I get a chance to go down there and go and swim with the blue sharks and meet those guys, I'm definitely doing that. But that's snorkeling. I can do that in a wetsuit. I'd very much like to do the basking sharks as well. You know, I mean, I want to swim with a fish that's as big as a bus. I just want to do that. But again, that can be done snorkeling. It's not something you dive with them. You spook them off. The other reasons, it's just fell right. Really, with the timing as well. So, for those that have been following me for a while, you'll have seen me really, really big. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm big now, but I'm not as big. So, I'm about 5 stone lighter than I was at my biggest. And my dry suit was made at my biggest. So my dry suit doesn't fit at all. I mean, you know, Ian will tell you on here that me and him could probably get in it. So I need a new dry suit. I need a new dry suit because the left leg is leaking on my other dry suit, and my right foot is leaking as well. And I just don't want to spend the money having that repaired when it doesn't fit. And I'm also not in the mood to spend £2 on a new dry suit. Now, again, spoke to the guys at the club. I've spoke to good diving friends and buddies, and I've talked through this decision, and they've all sort of said, you know, well, you can just get yourself a cheap dry suit. The problem with that is you're diving with a cheap dry suit, then aren't you going to hate it? I'll hate it because it's cheap shite. So I don't want to spend £2 on a dry suit at the minute because that's another holiday. And you know, there's just a lot of my kit needs servicing, and it just feels right. I've also got a few things in my home personal life that might change this year. New jobs, maybe moving home, and lots of sort of, you know, really boring, mundane shit like that. But which nevertheless means that I'm not going to be as able. The final thing, really, that sort of made me come up with this decision of just to take a break from the UK for 18 months is my trip to South Africa was an absolute revelation. It wasn't a holiday, it was a proper adventure, and I had an absolutely amazing time. I met some amazing things, some amazing critters, and I met some really, really cool people. And I want to do more of that. I have got plenty and plenty of pins of me diving around the UK. And what I feel I need to do now a bit more is stick some more of them pins a bit more around the globe. Now, for the best love in the world, I am certainly not famous enough or infamous enough, or people are not chucking free holidays at me, which means I have to pay for them myself. And unfortunately, to pay for them, I need a job. And with both those things, there's only so much money and there's only so much annual leave that I get. So for the last 12 years, I've made the conscious decision to focus primarily on diving in the UK and spend my money and time diving in the UK. But diving in the UK is now really stupidly expensive. I mean, I think there's one down in Dover that's charging £75 per dive, which is frankly horrifying, isn't it? That's 150 quid for 2 dives. That's just insane. And for the money, you know, cards on the table, guys. South Africa cost me about £3.5 for me and the wife for 16 days of the best fun I've probably had in a decade. Do you know what I mean? Swimming with sharks, swimming with a potato bass, swimming with rays the size of a car. Just absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, and that's before we even talk about, you know, the safari side of it and the dry side stuff. So the plan is going to knock UK diving on the head for the next 18 months. Apart from, like I say, some selected stuff. And if somebody sends me a shitload of free gear to review, then I'll probably jump in. So I'm not burning the dry suit just yet. It will be kept in reserve. but your usual standard, you know, the fawns and abs, that kind of stuff is going to take a backseat because I'm not spending 350 quid every weekend doing that kind of stuff. That money's got to go to somewhere else. And we're planning on doing Egypt in March, and we've got a club trip to Malta in September, and then we are doing no, hang on, go. It's all right. It said it was going to show you loads of ads. I've skipped them. We don't want those. What was I saying? Malta in September, and then me and the wife want to go and do another super adventure first quarter of 2025, and we are thinking at the moment of doing Mexico and the Caribbean islands. So we've got pre-authorization for 4 weeks off work, so that's nice. But that is a whole year's annual leave, isn't it, basically? So, you know, these are the things the compromises you have to make. So we're thinking about doing Mexico. I'd like to do all the cenotes, do them. You know what I mean? I want to do the tourist bit. I'm not going miles in there. That's not my shit at all. Dick, that's his shit. It's not my shit. I just want to go and have a look at the pretty light beams and stuff like that. Yes, I want to go do them. I want to go do the Mesoamericana Reef. I want to do Cozumel. And then, so I want to do that for a couple of weeks. And Sarah wants to go see the Mayan islands and all that kind of Mayan temples and all that kind of stuff. And then we want to go do a couple of the Caribbean islands. Happy to take recommendations on that, guys. So we'll be going to the dive show to go see who's got the best deals on that kind of stuff. But if you've been to any of these, then drop me a message with any recommendations, especially decent dive centers. I want to mean decent dive centers. I don't mean dickheads who carry your tanks for you. I'm perfectly capable of carrying my own tanks. What I want is a dive center who's not going to be putting me with a load of bleeding German newbies that have done 3 dives and get through a 15-litre cylinder in 8.5 minutes. I want to go do some quality diving with some quality divers. And I can make the most of my diving over there, you know, because I intend paying quite a lot of money for it. So if you know that type of dive center, you know, a bit like South Africa where they had a guarantee, no students on the boat. I even had my own boat with my own 2 dive guides because I was the only decent qualified diver on the boat. That's the kind of service that I'm looking for, and I'm happy to pay for it. So if you do know, please drop me a message down below. Send me a message on through the Facebook, Instagram, whatever, because I'm definitely looking for those type of things. So in answer to your question, Jurassic Diver, am I going to Vobster anytime soon? No is the answer. Sorry, but I'm just not. It's a long way to go and jump in a muddy puddle, and I haven't got a dry suit that fits. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's the right time for me to do it. It just fits very well with, like I say, all the potential stuff that might blow up next year in my personal life. So yeah, we're going on tour. Lots of abroad holidays, guys. So lots of that kind of stuff. Still happy doing gear reviews. Still happy doing stuff. I'm going to be doing lots of maintenance stuff over the winter, especially for those followers of mine that are Horizon divers. My Horizon is well and truly out of warranty now, and needs servicing right, left, and centre because it's made by Mares. So obviously it's rubbish, and it's falling to bits already, and things jamming up. So I'm having to learn very quickly on how to service it myself, and I'm happy sharing that because again, there's quite a lot of, you know, the voodoo magic stuff in there. Oh, you can't do that yourself because you need this little magic wand thing to do it. It's kind of bollocks. So it's quite easy to service. It's quite easy to maintain. So I'll be doing a fair bit of that as well. Obviously, still staying part of Pontefract Scuba Club. I'm thinking of being nominated for chairman again this year, just to sort of fill my time up. And then one other thing that I've been playing with in my head is, and I'll tell you why, because it's making me angry, and that is BSAC. Okay, they're getting on my tits. Not BSAC the organisation, but BSAC the organisation, not anybody in it. Let me explain. Okay, so I've been an instructor for a long time, and I really believe, passionately, in you're only as good as the instructor that teaches you. If your instructor doesn't give a shit, then you're going to be shit because your instructor doesn't give a shit. So I give a shit. Do you know what I mean? When I teach people, I give a shit. I want to give the best service that I can. I want to give them the best grounding that I can. And I won't sign you off until you're good enough in my mind that I would be happy diving with you. In my mind, that's what it is. I know what the criteria, you've got to be competent and confident and all that. But for me, that is, would I dive with this person doing this? And that's where I sort of start from a sort of base of. And we've been diving a few times, and we've had other people come on our trips with us, and there was a couple who came with us to our Kinloch Burby trip. That was fabulous, by the way. 16th century cannons. Yeah, who was it? Roman. Spanish, same bloody things. Spanish guy. That time team have been to as well. That was pretty cool. That was super cool. But anyway, back to it. But there was a couple there. They've been to another club that shall remain nameless, but not too far away from me. And basically, the lass was nearly in tears because she'd been awarded sports diver, and she knew she didn't deserve it. And you know, watching a dive, she didn't deserve it. Do you know what I mean? She's not a bad diver. She's just not had the correct teaching. Do you know what I mean? She's her buoyancy and trim's not there. She's still cycle kicking a little bit. You shouldn't be doing that at sports diver level. You should have had that trained out of you, okay? And it's just, she knew it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair, and BSAC do nothing to do it. They went. We were talking about depth progression, and she did 35 meters, and that was basically she went and did 35 meters, then just showed the instructor a computer after she'd done it. I mean, she could have put that on a string. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. That's not the purpose of it. So I'm really getting quite sort of annoyed with the lack of quality assurance. So anyway, I'm thinking the nominations for council for BSAC are open at the moment. Do you think I'd make a good fit? I mean, it'd be quite interesting because quite often I don't know what I'm saying next, so it would be quite fun. But it is something that's getting on my tits. I think BSAC they're getting too, that's BSAC Egypt, BSAC this, BSAC the other, BSAC. How about let's focus on the British people for a changing? Let's give clubs some assistance, and let's have some quality assurance. As a club, as a dive officer, as a training officer at a club, you should have that little thought in the back of your mind that actually a regional coach might drop through just to make sure everything's being taught right. And if it's not about being the training police. It's just about being able to offer the assistance to the club and say, actually, you've been an instructor for 15 years and no one's checked what you're teaching in those 15 years. Let's just have a check. Do you know how to do a CBR? Do you know how to do this new thing? Do you know how to do that kind of stuff? And that means resourcing our regional coaches, which would be something new, wouldn't it, as well? So yeah, that would kind of be my sort of standpoint. For everybody that's in BSAC, I will charge you an extra £1 a year on top of your fees. Well, that will go directly to your regional coach to fund them to be able to come out to you, pay for a bit of fuel for them and help clubs make sure that they're teaching properly. And there's none of this, just go down and show me your computer shite anymore, because that is not doing the club any good, it's not doing the student any good, and it's not doing the industry any good either, is it? It's just shite instructors, and we need to sort of get rid of that. By crook. So anyway, let me know in the comments, in the little chat here, do you think that I would make a good council member, or do you think I'd get sacked after a week? Either way, it could be fun, couldn't it? So anyway, let's go through some of the comments. Any more gear reviews? Hopefully Jurassic Dive. I mean, it's difficult for me to sort of, it's kind of like the torch that Orca Torch sent me. They saw it with that little D710, which is a cracking little torch, to be honest with you. Just frustrating that they're still giving you crap to go with it, but it's a good little torch. But they send me stuff, and people don't send me stuff because I tend to be honest about it, because I don't need the torch. I mean, it's going to be my new holiday torch. That's because it's got a nice little box and it's convenient. But I've got torches coming out my backside from this big to the one that Ian's got at the moment, which is like 3 times the power of the sun kind of thing. I don't need more torches. So I'm afraid I don't make enough off YouTube or anything like that to go buying kits specifically to review, because again, kit is stupidly expensive at the moment, isn't it? But yeah, if anybody sends me anything, I'm more than happy to review it on the basis that it will be reviewed, as in not a Mark from Simply Scuba where he just sits and goes, oh, this is the X, Y, and Z, and it does this, this, and that, and basically just reads the fucking packet instructions off the side and then calls that a review, which is a load of shite. It's just sales pitch. It will be reviewed, it will be tested, and it will be honest as well. And if I don't like it, I'll tell you what I don't like. The only thing I will say, and this has been true from the start, if I get a product, and I have had some, that I just can't find anything good to say, you won't see that on the channel, because I'm not a channel that I'm not somebody who just wants to sit here and slag people off. That's not what it is. Every product has good points and have bad points, because if there's one perfect product, then we wouldn't have a variety, would we? And there's no perfect product for everybody kind of thing. Everybody's got their own needs, their own wants. But it's what it is. So if somebody sends me something, yes, I'm keeping the dry suit. I'm happy to go and take it to Capenry, aka the Hole of Death, and just no, not really. Carol, don't shout at me. It's fine. It wasn't Capenry's fault. Okay, it's just one of those things. But yeah, I'll take it. We'll give it a spin. And as always, it will be an honest review. And if I need to have a rant about something like, the lack of, epoxy bolt snap in a torch when, you know, every decent diver is going to do that, then rant it should be. Because it just, you know, we need to get these manufacturers stop giving us shite and start giving us something proper, you know, grown up and something that we're actually going to bloody use. It is what it is. So in that regard, yes, I hope so, but maybe not. Who knows? Can I go to the dive? Oh yes, I'm going to the dive show. Right, okay, 1 second. I'm skipping some people here. I do apologize. Susa, you are very welcome, mate. If you need any more help or chat or anything like that, then get yourself on the £3 Patreon, get yourself on the monthly club nights. Monthly, they've been kind of monthly. It's been a bit sketchy at the moment, but anyway, get yourself on that. Me and the rest of the guys on the Patreon will help you out with any questions that you have. Not a problem at all. Am I having a big dive to celebrate? Yes, I'm going to Egypt. And it's not really a diving holiday. The wife has been put up my shite for 12 years. So we're going all luxury, all inclusive, and I'm doing a bit of beach diving, which will be absolutely fine. Oh, yeah. Well, you say you're paying for it. I paid for everything else. She's got a back pay. The union agreement has finally gone through, so she's got a back pay, so she's paying for this one, which will be the first time in 20 years, so that'll be nice. You can hear a long, whatever. So yeah, I'm going to go and have 5 relaxing days. Reef diving, I might take the Horizon over with me and do a bit of solo stuff with the camera, just so I can just video some small stuff, and it's going to be quite nice, and that'll be that. So that's what that is. What the advantage of long hose that you're mentioning? Surely, if you need to donate, that means giving up your own rig, which sounds odd to me. Have I got it all wrong? I wouldn't say you got it all wrong, Rich. No, I mean, I definitely think it's probably not something I'm going to bore everybody with here, but basically, I don't know how long you've been diving, Rich, and I don't know if you've seen any dickheads. Unfortunately, I have quite a few. For me, the whole idea of having a single cylinder long hose is the fact that in any system, when you're designing a system to deal with human beings, which are unpredictable at best, you design the system to best deal with the natural response, if that makes sense. So when somebody runs out of air, depending on the circumstance, okay, and I've seen it a few times, as a human, you know, if you're diving, where air is, okay? And it's not in the triangle of visibility, okay? That goes out your head, because in that moment, you're dying, okay? And it's fuck your buddy, it's me. So where do they go? Okay, first place they always go, and again, as a BSAC instructor, as a PADI instructor, perhaps, I don't know, I don't teach PADI, but you'll get taught this. If somebody comes at you out of air, what's the first thing that you're told to do? Okay, first, so they can get your, triangle visibility octo. The second thing, protect your air source. Now, why is that? That's because that's what they're going to go for, because that's where they know, without even having to think about it, they know where there's air, it's in your face, okay? So if that's their natural reaction, why not design the system to let them take it, okay? Now, again, if you think about it, I just said I wasn't going to bore everybody with this, but I'm going to go now anyway, because I'm on a flow now. If you think about it, when you're taught out of air, where's your buddy out of air? They're sat in front of you, aren't they? And they're going to go, oh, my bone, and all this horse shit, okay? Now, in reality, where's your buddy? Okay, they're either just in front of you, aren't they? Or they're just behind you. So if you're leading the dive and your buddy's out of air from just behind you, the chances are the first thing you're going to know about it is when a hand comes around and rips the back out of your mouth, because they've shot it from the back or from down or from below. They're not in front of you doing this signal, are they? They're coming in from somewhere, and it's going to be gone before you even know what's going on. So design the system that if they take it, fine, take it. Put your head down, uncurl that long goes. They can piss off over there and go do whatever they need to do. And then you just go with your secondary, and all's good with the world. Okay? I've seen it. I've seen people trained, educated, good divers, apart from the fact that they run out of air, and they go for your face. Okay, they always go for your face. So if that's the natural reaction, that's what you design your system. And single cylinder long hose fits that better than this. Because again, if you're in trim,
and you've got, your bits and tits, the thing where your octo's supposed to go. Who's seeing that? If you're in trim, who can see that? The fucking crab on the bottom. He's the only fucking idiot that can see that. Yeah, the crab. You're not your buddy because you're not. You're a good diver. You're in trim. So it's the octo system's out of it. So I hope that's helped you out a little bit. Again, if you need any more explanation, get on the Patreon, mate. It's £3 a month. Sort yourself out. It'd be good. We'll do that. Can I go to the dive show? Yes, Tim, I'm going to the dive show. I'm going holiday shopping, mate. It's going to be very exciting. I'm holiday shopping for dive centers in Egypt, and I'm holiday shopping for Mexico and for Caribbean islands. So yes, I will definitely be there, probably in my trademark hat. So I will see you there. If you do see me, stop me, have a chat. Quite happy to have a chat. West Side Scuba in Barbados. Some great wrecks. One in particular, the Stav. Okay, we'll make a note of that, mate. I'll Google that and have a look. Steve from Scuba, he's such a bastard. Sorry, I don't like swearing, but Steve is spent 6 months in New Zealand diving all over there. He's just done Mexico. It was the guy's like dog poo. He gets everywhere. I'm really jealous, Steve. I really am. But yeah, fab. I look forward to recommendations then, mate, because that's about the time I'm thinking of going in 2025. So I would love to catch up on the phone, on Teams or something. I'd really like to hear what was good, what was bad, and pick your brains on that, mate. So yeah, please. Tank Heart. Oh, do you know what, Ellen? That's not the first time I've heard of that one. So I will definitely check those out. Okay, yeah. Tim's going to vote for me. Charlie's going to vote for me. 3 votes. Sorry? No, Charlie?
Ellen as well.
Well, I've not got that far yet. Susa, talking about Orca Torch, thanks for your review. I bought the D710. Yeah, it's a cracking little torch, mate. You'll have no problems with it at all. I really like that little battery with the USB-C plug in it. I thought it was a cracking little torch. It's not a UK primary torch. It never has and it never will be. But it's a cracking little backup torch, a cracking little Ology torch if you're a blue water diver, something like that. Like I say, I just wish they'd stick that lanyard and put a clip on it. Do you know what I mean? And make the box so it fit with the clip as well. It'd be a lot better. But yeah, as a torch in itself, mate, a cracking little torch. Ellen's going to vote for me as well, and JR Lamb as well. Thank you. That's it. That's more votes than anybody got last year, so I think I'm having that. I think anyone proposing new idea? Well, it's the UK scuba industry. We don't have new ideas. That's terrible. Well, not unless you're X-Deep or somebody like that and can sell it for a lot of money and everybody goes. But yeah, do you know what? There's a few centres now that are starting teaching diving on backplate and wing. They get my vote, and there's a few PADI centres that are teaching single cylinder long hose, and long may it continue because it's the way forward in mine. Okay, Scuba Ray, GoPro to DJI. How come? So yeah, I've very recently, in fact, I've not even used it then. I've recently ditched this. I've not done a video with it yet, but I've recently ditched this in favour of, if I can find it. This is my new DJI Action. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with it, Steve, to be honest with you, but if you watch any of the reviews and comparisons, this versus that, I'm sick of the GoPro reset, okay, where this just locks up, doesn't switch on, doesn't switch off, doesn't, do things, and you have to take the battery out and then put the battery back in and it starts again, which is fine, but obviously you can't do that underwater, can you? So this camera has cost me numerous good shots through a GoPro reset just by locking up. This, by comparison, not my experience, because like I say, I've not tried it in anger yet, just works every time. You press on, it switches on, you press start record, it records, you press stop, it stops, and then it will start again. So it's just, I love GoPro. GoPro is where I started, recording underwater stuff. They just need to sort the shit out with it, really, to be honest with you, mate. And the other thing is, if you've not tried one of these, this quick release system that they got, this magnetic quick clip system, is epic as well. That's going to save me a load of time on screen. So they also need to catch up with that. But the main thing was, I actually prefer the color on this because I like bright, bold colors, like poppy. I like how this sort of GoPro always like overdoes the color. That's more my style. But I can do that in post on this camera. I can make it GoPro-y with a LUT, but it's just I just want it to work. You know, it's supposed to, and GoPros just don't do that. So again, you know, the better battery life, better this, that, and the other. Supposedly, again, I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm not going to do a review on it either. Either way, it doesn't. But that's it. That was it. So yeah, just sick of the GoPro reset, mate. Right, where are we off? Warm Apple, Jurassic. What's on your Christmas list regarding dive equipment? Nothing, Wayne. I know that's horrifying, isn't it, from a diver? I don't want anything. No, there's nothing, mate. I want some airplane ticket. Sunshine is what I want. So that's what we're doing. Me and the wife are not buying ourselves and each other anything this Christmas. You know, maybe a little knick-knack or something, but nothing big because it's just all about the holidays next year. So yeah, year after I'll have a big list. I want a new dry suit, I want a new undersuit, hood, gloves, QB system, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Next Christmas will be fine because, like I say, come the start of the dive season 2025, I will be back UK diving with a vengeance, and I've got some firm plans of what I'd like to get done as well. That's going to be a little bit more exciting than the usual. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with St. Abs, there's nothing wrong with the Farns, but again, once you've done them 30 times, there's only, you know, so much you can do. It's like having your favorite dinner for a year, and it's not your favorite dinner at the end of it. So I just need a bit of a break, and when I come back to it, I want to start doing something extra. So yeah, yeah. So nothing on the Christmas list. That is quite scary. That is. I think that's not there. Warm up. Ian's off to Scunny Club. Yeah, it's his club night tonight. So say hello to the guys, especially Kev and Sean, who were the other guys that helped me out at the weekend. Very thankful to them, and you'll be seeing more of them as well. So Rich makes perfect sense. I've not been diving long enough to see anything hit the fan yet. No, and I pray to God, Rich, that you don't. Okay, because it's not fun. It's not funny. It's not. Yeah, it's. Yeah, and to be honest with you, the 2 times I saw it was basically just machoism and ego of oh yeah, I can do this dive with 30 bar. Well, no, you didn't, did you? So that's you old school thinking, mate. Anyway, but yeah, so interesting. Scuba Very Scott Sack, and he's going to vote for me. That's nice. Ellen, yeah, well, we were supposed to be catching up at Capering, weren't we, Aaron? Ellen, at some point, to be honest with you. So I don't know quite what happened with that, but yeah, as soon as I'm back, 2025, make yourself available. Let's go do a trip together. Scuba Very, same with the 8, but with the 11, no issues, right? That's interesting, mate. That's interesting. I wasn't willing to fork out the money. To be honest, I thought I'd try something new. So yeah, I'd be interested, Steve, to see how you're getting on with a long-term review of that, mate. To be honest with you, so but be quite interesting. I'll let you know how I get on with the DJI. So Rich again, do you still recommend UK diving until you took all the boxes like you have, or not worth it? I've done paddy open water and now face building the kit, just getting diving. No, mate. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. UK diving is amazing. Okay, you get to do it more often than you do holiday diving because it's here. Okay, it is expensive. Yes, it's not as expensive as holiday diving. It's just that I've been doing it for such a long time now. You know, 12 years. I mean, the average lifespan. And again, those guys on here who are in the commercial space will probably tell you the average person spends 2 years in scuba diving before they move on to something else. You know, bloody air gun shooting, hill walking. You know, I don't know what they move on to, downhill mountain bike. You know, I don't know. But yeah, 2 years. It's how. For anybody who's been diving more than 2 years, have you noticed how the dive show is all the same bloody boring arse? I mean, Monty Halls again, bloody. You know, I wish, like, seriously. They need to get some fresh blood, but the reason they get round recycling these same old bloody crusty farts talking about the same old shite again is because every 2 years it's brand new fresh. So it's Monty Halls, it's Monty's, you know, because it's the first time they've seen it. Those have been doing it for a long while. It's just a bit like, you know, it's Monty again getting his, you know, 10 grand payout for sitting boring us for an hour. So yeah, it's 2 years. So for 12 years, is quite, you know, it's quite a long time. I'm definitely one of, you know, I don't consider myself old, but I certainly am one of the older members of the club, getting some way now, to be honest with you as well. So yeah, it's you know, 12 years doing anything, I guess, is a long time, but yeah, no, the UK diving is fantastic. You will be amazed at what you see down there. Depending on what you are, you're a squidge fan or a wreck fan. I mean, I'm not asking you to nail it on yourself. I'm a little bit of both. I like a wreck to look like a boat, though, not just a scrap pile, which you've got to go and do like pretty deep stuff over in the UK, because we have storms that smash everything to bits. So quite a lot of our, well, most of our shallow wrecks are just scrap piles. Not to say a good rummaging scrap pile is not worth a dive, because the Somalia, of which I've got videos on, if you've not seen, then go back and check on that is a scrap pile, and that was a fantastic dive, one of my best wreck dives, just for the amount of shit that I found. Bottles with liquid in, still from like World War One, just, you know what I mean? Just absolutely unbelievable. You know, toothbrushes with pig bristle brushes on, like still just plucking them out. It was absolutely fantastic. Critters, we don't do much big stuff. Seals are about the biggest stuff that we get over here, you know, regular, with any sort of regularity. But you know, the rest is pretty small. So if you're a squidge fan in the UK, you do have to look at the small stuff, you know what I mean? Excuse fizzy cider. Oh, do you know what? A couple of days ago, that burp would have made me spew up everywhere. Oh, thank God. But yeah, in the UK, if you're a squidge fan like me, you like the squidge stuff, you've got to look in the cracks and crevices, and you've got to look small, because in the UK, if you're out in the open, you're about 30 seconds away from being eaten by something that's going to launch out and grab you and eat you. So it's pretty brutal in the UK. So look small and look in the cracks and crevices. Get yourself a nice little Orca Torch D710. That'd be perfect for cracks and crevice sort of spotting. Wrecks, well, crikey, you know, we are inundated with wrecks. You know, Scapa on its own is just absolutely worth going and doing. You know, if you want to go see like World War One battleships that currently, in the main, still look like ships. How much longer they're going to stay like that, I don't know. I'd get up there quick. But it was just an absolutely fabulous diving experience, shall we say, for me. The diving was superb, and I'm sure if you get the right operator, the whole experience can be superb. But yeah, no, I cannot in any way, shape, or form take a dump on UK diving. It is absolutely superb. However, you do have to be the right sort of metal for it. You know what I mean? You've got to be able to deal with the cold. You've got to be able to deal with the dark. You've got to be pretty self-reliant, because we're not diving in a paddy group of 12 here. And if something goes wrong, you know, the white knight dive master is going to swim in and save the day, because there is no dive master. You're on your own. It's you and your buddy. Quite often it can end up just being you if you're not careful and the viz is not great. So you need to be self-reliant. You need to have that confidence to do that as well. So a lot of people I found are not up to UK diving, if that makes sense. They're not up for the challenge. They're not, you know, it's difficult, it's heavy, it's expensive, it's, you know, but that's all the kind of stuff that makes it a challenge. And when you come back from any dive in the UK, you should be able to pat yourself on the back and say, you know, you won, nature didn't, you know. And there's people take that to an extreme. You know, I know some rebreather divers, they just go deep just to see if they can come back alive, which doesn't make any sense to me, but that's what they do. You know, some people go deep because they want to see you know, stuff that no one's ever seen since it left the service, you know, 300 years ago. You know, if you ever say you get bored of diving, as in the whole thing, then you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? You can get into the archaeology of it, you can get into the natural history of it, kind of stuff. There's a million different ways you can go, but it is tough, you know, and you do have to have that toughness, which is why I like scuba divers, because I like hanging around with the A-list people, if that makes sense. I'm not giving you all a big head and blowing smoke up your arse, but most scuba divers are tough characters, and I enjoy hanging around with people like that. They're not the fannies, they're not the flim flams. They're the people that just get on and do it, and generally don't moan too much about it. Perhaps I'm not thinking of divers anyway. But there we are. So over to the comments. I hope that answered it for you. It's definitely worth doing. Yeah. So do UK diving. David's found something hilarious. I don't know. Come dive the Orkney Sea with me in July. Don't tempt me, Peter. John, don't tempt me. I do intend getting over to see you at some point, mate. Maybe 2025. It's on the list to do. I'd love to be able to commit next year, but like I say, I've got just a bit too much maybe happening in my personal life that I need to sort of deal with first. So, fingers crossed. It's the whole point of running a YouTube channel and making friends all over the world, isn't it? So I can bum some cheap accommodation and sleep in people's spare rooms. That's the whole point. If you can't do that, what's the point in doing it? So yeah, you're definitely on my list, mate. Same as Dick, you're definitely on my list. Getting over to Flow Rider and coming and seeing that anyway. So there we are. So open water at Stony February last year. Oh, you'd have been about there when I did the Horizon training, mate. Yeah, that was, if you can deal with that, you're doing all right. Yeah, you're doing all right. So yeah, there we are. Right. Anyway, guys, one thing that I do need to do is we need to do this draw. Dun, dun, dun. So there are 4 prizes up for grabs from my Patreons. I have a reel from Kent Tooling. I have a mask from Techline, very nice mask from Techline. I have a £50 spend voucher from divesigns.co.uk or .com. Anyway, it's the sexy stickers that I've done a couple of videos about. Dive marker stickers, the ice stickers. So it's a £50 spend from my friend Mark over there. And then I am also chucking in 2 t-shirts or a hoodie from my new online shop. So if you've not seen, guys, I've got a T-mill shop with some UKDiver designs on. So if you fancy a t-shirt or a hoodie, then head off over there and go buy them. I'm not making a fortune. I think I make a couple of quid on each sale, if anything. So it really doesn't, you're not paying for any holidays for me. It just helps support the channel, and you better get a bit of cool sort of merch that no one else has really got, unless everybody buys it. In which case, yay, I'm paying up for a holiday. But yeah, so there's some cool designs over there. So check out the website. So www.ukdiver.co.uk. If you go to the shop section, click on that. That will take you through to my T-mill shop, and then you can have a look and buy there. If there's something not in a size or a color that you'd like, then do drop me a line, because I can soon swap things around on the shop. There's not a lot of female stuff on there because YouTube tells me that my audience is virtually 100% male. So I don't see the point in doing loads of. So Ellen, if you see anything that you want and you're not happy, then do let me know, because I can soon add that to the shopping list, so to speak. So how we're going to do this is Sarah, the wifey, has downloaded a random number generator. All my patrons have their name on this list either 3 times or 1 time, depending if they are VIP or not VIP. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw. If you win twice, unfortunately, you only win the once. And what we're going to do is, for everybody who is here, if you win, you get to pick straight away. And then the people that aren't here will get what's left, if that makes sense. Okay, because I don't want to draw for the reel, because somebody might win a reel who doesn't need a reel. Somebody may not wear t-shirts. You get the point, yeah? So you might not need a mask. It's always nice having a spare mask. But anyway, you get what I mean. So we're going to do this, and everybody should be online. So we've got John. I don't think we've got Stephen or Bryce. Ian's left. Tim, you still with me, Tim? Tim's probably just drunk. Tim. Yay, Tim's still there. Not seen anything. Ben Gordon. No. Ellen, you still with me, mate? Oh, yeah, she's there. Got a thank you off here. That's not a problem. Mark and Dick, you still with me, mate? I'm always conscious of you guys over in the US. Yeah, still awake. Good man. Right, we'll get this done. Get you to bed. Okay, so come, wife.
Oh dear, you don't want me on today.
She's in her pajamas. Do apologise. Right, so we got this thing. So she just gives a phone a shake, and then she's going to show you the screen, and then we'll go for it. So go on then. First one then, wife.
Hang on.
Hang on,
Having a moment.
the app stopped.
Number 12.
Number 12. So number 12 is Ben. Okay, so Ben, I don't think he's with us, so he gets what's left, unfortunately. Right, shake it again.
Number 3.
Number 3. Dick, woo, you're a winner. What do you want? Mask, stickers, reel, or t-shirts or hoodie? Reel. Yes, good man. Right, we'll put you down for the reel, my friend. I will drop you a message through Patreon and get your address details off you, mate, yeah? Okie dokie. Next one then.
21.
21 is Mr. Pattle. Stephen. So he is number 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. So again, Mr. Stevie Pattle, are you here? 10 seconds. And then I'll assume that you're not. I'm not seeing you on there, mate. Okay, no problemo. So he gets last choice. What's left? Right, okay, so this is the last one then, guys.
18.
18 is Bryce.
Oh, that's,
What's that? 18?
yeah, it's just
18.
showing us
There
a
we are.
bright white screen on the.
So Bryce, are you here, mate? No. Oh dear, there we are. Okay, no Bryce either then. So I'll drop those guys a message and let them have choice of priority. Well done, Dick. For everybody that didn't win, don't worry, you're all winners because I'm going to get you a UKDiver conciliatory mug printed up and sent out. So everyone's a winner, so don't feel sad. I'll even get you one out, John, over to Texas. Yeah, we'll get you one over. So I'd like to say they're going to be there for Christmas. The reality is not going to be there for Christmas. But I will get them out to you soon. So thank you very much. And again, thank you very much for the support, guys. I do want to read out everybody. So I've got Dick from Flow Rider. I've got Mark from down south, who's got a cool like GPS tracking thing he showed us. I've got the lovely Ellen that's on here. And a fellow whose name escapes me at the moment, that they've been supporting me. Gordon, who was he's been on a couple of the farms trips. You've seen him with me. We've got young Ben from the Vobster video, who's about 7'6". He's been a lovely chap over in the university. He's been supporting me. My good friend Tim Sharp, who's on here, who again you've seen in a couple of the videos. Ian, my saviour from the weekend, who you will see more in the upcoming video. I've got a full video of the South Africa trip that I don't really expect you to watch. That's kind of more my memory book, to be honest with you. But again, you're more than welcome to watch it if you want. But that's going to be coming out along. And then the next video I'll do is I'll do about the Ben guys, and we'll do that. So so Ian, Bryce, my good friend from up in Scotland, Stephen. I'm not quite sure where Mr. Pattle's from, but Midlands somewhere, but anyway, he's UK. And then my good friend John Peters, who's over in lovely Texas, who always tells me about how fabulous the weather is over there. So I could just sit and froth when I'm watching the rain. So there we go. So congratulations, guys. Thank you for the support. It really is appreciated, and it really does help me improve things gradually, or maybe I hope it improve things anyway. So but I really do. So still waiting for the t-shirt from your store. It was October. Let me check, John. It does tell me if somebody's ordered something. I certainly haven't received any commission from a sale in October, so I will see. Unfortunately, I can't get details. They, data protection, all that kind of stuff. They don't tell me who's ordered. Yeah, it's one of those things. So I will check, see if there is an order. If not, then it might be a case of reordering. But there we go. Right, guys. I think I've been through everything on the chat. Has anybody got any last questions before I sign off? Because I'm just having a look. I've been boring you to tears for the last hour and 10 minutes. So yeah, it's probably time we're rounding up. So if nobody's got anything else, guys, I would say thank you once again. I really do enjoy these sessions. I really should plan a few more in, to be honest with you. But other than that, I will let you get to your evenings. Have a fabulous weekend. Have a fabulous Christmas and New Year. And I will get back in touch with you in the new year. And we'll perhaps do another one of these, like I say, if there's lots of questions about the upcoming Ben video that I can't really answer typing, me and Ian will come back and do another one of these, and we can see if it's any use to you there. But other than that, guys, have a fabulous Christmas and New Year, and I will see you in the new year. Look after yourselves, and I hope Scuba Santa brings you all the shiny toys that you're really looking for. All right then, guys, signing off.